Greetings. When I was a kid, I used to be known as the protector. I didn't get into a lot of fights. I had very few fights, but I was the guy who not only used to break up fights, but every once in a while, if I thought that it was going to be a mismatch, I would be the guy who would stand in front of the smaller person and say, okay, if you're going to fight them, you're going to have to fight me too. Not that I wanted to fight anybody, but I hated mismatches. I hated when bullies picked on smaller kids. I had a couple of bullies who I didn't want to have to deal with. And luckily enough, someone always kind of got in the way or got on my side. And I never had to really deal one-on-one with a bully. I get into college. And one of the things I used to do, I was not a big partier. But I've always been able to get along with ladies, females, women, whatever term anyone wants to use today. And so what used to happen is on a Friday or Saturday night, we would go downtown to this place called Buckland's at the time. And it was a dance party place. I don't know. Sometimes they played dance music, my type, which was disco. Sometimes they played the rock dance music, which I didn't understand back then, but still they played it. And what would happen is I would go down there with a big group of the girls, and those who either got tired early or maybe they drank too much early, who needed to go back to the dorms, I walked them back to the dorms to make sure that they were going to be protected. That was what I did. I was the protector. I was always that. If someone was having a problem, they used to call me to come in and try to help them talk through their problems. That is what I did. That was kind of my role until I got a girlfriend my junior year at college. She didn't play that game. Then, over the years, I've done the same thing, or at least I did in my 20s and 30s. I used to go out to a club that was called the Country Club, which was a stupid name because it was a disco. And I used to have my spot. I didn't dance a lot. I've always kind of been a little shy when it came to like asking someone out on a date and whatever. I only had 4 relationships in my life, and I married the last one. Anyway, I had my spot. And people got comfortable with me being there. Turns out some of them thought I was a cop, which is really funny because I always wore some kind of jacket or whatever. I certainly didn't think I looked like a cop. But I made friends, or at least acquaintances, and if I saw any of them in trouble or any of their friends in trouble, I would usually be the first one down there trying to help them stay out of trouble. Now, if it was 2 women fighting each other, I didn't get in the middle of that. But if it was some guy who was getting ready to shake down, one of the women or looked like he was being a little aggressive, I would step in the middle. I didn't only do that for ladies, by the way. I also did it for my male friends. No one was going to say that I stood by and watched any of my friends get hurt. A couple of times it was probably dangerous, but that was just my role. I was the guy who was going to be the protector. Now, you know what? I think that a lot of leaders don't really think about that type of thing when they're dealing with their employees. Not that I'm going to say that every once in a while an employee didn't do something stupid that they didn't need to be reprimanded for. But in general, if anyone was going to go after my entire department, no, we weren't having that. When I first got a job at one of my hospitals, everyone was saying how bad my departments were. And I said, wait a minute, no, we're not having that. If you have a problem with the departments, you come to me with it and we're going to deal with it. We're going to start doing some training. We're going to, train everybody to their top notch. And you're not going to be able to complain about my departments anymore, except for one thing. That being that you are not allowed to go to any of these people individually and get anything for your departments. Everything goes through me because I was going to protect my employees. Now, all these other directors didn't like that. But you know who did like it? The CEO. Because the CEO wrote me a note. He said, that's the way you're supposed to do. You're protecting your people, and I'm sure they'll appreciate that. And I believe they did. I had a good relationship with the employees at that hospital. I had a good relationship with employees at another hospital. I've had good relationships with pretty much all employees at almost every single place that I have gone to do consulting. One place I didn't work out so well, but that's because they hated the VP of the hospital, and the union person told them not to get close to me, which almost kind of worked. But still, I've always been that way. I will protect people. Loyalty is my #1 thing. Loyalty, trustworthiness, and honesty. But it always starts with loyalty. And you can't be loyal if you're not willing to protect the people who work for you, the people you need to work with. You know, I've protected people in other departments where I said, you know, no, this is not how you lead people. You don't berate them. You don't embarrass them like that. I have stepped in the way of other managers who've done that. And I have helped other managers when they've dealt with other issues. This is just who I am. I'm not saying that it is the number one leadership trait. I'm saying it's an important leadership trait. You have to be willing to protect other people. Now, in today's world, I'm sorry, I probably will not take a bullet for you, but I'm going to give you any other kind of support I can. Anyway, that's my thought on protection and leadership. Let me know your thoughts. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope you have a wonderful day.